All right, today we're going to get into something really powerful. We're talking about a blueprint, a guide for building unshakable self-belief. Let's dive right in. Yeah, you know that voice, right? That little nagging whisper in the back of your head, the one that always seems to show up at the worst possible moments.
That's it, right there. It's that voice of doubt. It's the voice that can make you clam up in a job interview or just stay quiet in a meeting when you actually have something great to say. But what if you could learn to treat that voice less like a judge handing down a sentence and more like, I don't know, just background noise?
Well, that's exactly where this whole blueprint idea comes in. We're going to completely reframe how we think about self-belief. It's time to ditch that old idea that confidence is something you're either born with or you're not. Because here's the absolute game changer. Confidence is not some lottery ticket. You didn't just get a lucky or unlucky draw at birth. No, it's a skill. And you know what that means, right? Like any skill, playing an instrument, learning to code, whatever, it can be learned, it can be practiced, and yeah, it can absolutely be mastered. And if it's a skill you can build, well, that puts you in the driver's seat. It makes you the architect. You're the one holding the plans. You have the tools. You get to decide exactly what you're going to build. Okay, so every good architect needs a plan. Here's ours. We're going to go through 5 key steps. First up, we've got to lay the foundation. Then we'll build the framework. After that, we'll get into designing the interior. A huge part of this is learning to embrace renovation, when things don't go perfectly. And finally, we absolutely have to celebrate the wins. All right, let's grab our hard hats and get started.
All right, first things first, laying the foundation. Now, before you can build anything new, you have to survey the land, right? You have to see what you're working with. And for most of us, that means understanding the biggest obstacle that's already there, our own inner critic.
And here's a simple but really, really powerful idea. That inner critic, it's just a thought. It's not a fact. The second you truly get that it's just a thought pattern, not some undeniable truth written in stone, it starts to lose all its power. It stops being the truth and just becomes, well, a suggestion, one that you can totally choose to ignore.
So how do you actually start dismantling it? You question it. You put it on the witness stand. The next time that voice whispers, you're gonna fail, just pause and ask it some hard questions, like, is that really 100% true? Or what evidence do I actually have that says the opposite? And maybe what's a kinder, a more compassionate way to look at the situation? This simple act of cross-examination, it basically creates doubt in your doubt. It's pretty cool. Okay, so our foundation is cleared. We've dealt with the inner critic. Now it's time to actually start building the framework. And this part is all about creating real, tangible evidence that proves to yourself that you are capable. This is like the engine of the whole operation. It's something called the confidence-competence loop. It's a really simple idea. You gain confidence by proving your competence to yourself. You do something, you succeed, and your brain gets this little ping of evidence, like, hey, I can do stuff. And the secret to getting this engine started? You gotta start small. Really small. You know that old saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step? Well, it's famous for a reason. Don't worry about running a marathon tomorrow. Just focus on putting on your running shoes today. That's a win. Don't worry about cleaning the whole house. Just tidy your desk for 5 minutes. That's another win. Every single one of these small, kept promises to yourself is another brick you're laying in the wall of your confidence. But what happens when things go wrong? Because they will, right? This is such a critical part of building a strong framework. You have a choice. You can see failure as a final verdict, like, yep, that's it, game over, I'm no good, a total dead end. Or you can see it as feedback, just a detour, valuable data you can use for your next try. I mean, one of those mindsets completely crushes you, and the other one teaches you. It's a pretty clear choice when you look at it like that. Think about Thomas Edison. When he was working on the light bulb, he didn't have thousands of failures. He just discovered thousands of ways that wouldn't work. He was just gathering data. When you start to adopt that mindset, you become incredibly resilient. And resilience, that's the absolute core of real, unshakable confidence. Okay, our framework is going up, it's looking solid. Now it's time to design the interior. This part is all about the environment you're creating inside your own mind, and even your own body. First, let's talk about self-talk. A lot of us have tried those big, bold affirmations like, I am the best in the world. But they often feel kind of hollow, right? Because deep down, our brain is like, are you though?
The key is to switch from these hollow affirmations to what we can call rooted statements. So instead of I am invincible, try something like I will handle the challenges that come my way. See the difference? These statements are grounded in reality, so they're believable. And because your brain can actually buy into them, they start to work.
Next up, your own body. Your mind and your body are in constant communication. It's a two-way street. If you're slouching, looking at the floor, you're sending a signal to your brain that says, I'm small, I'm not confident. But what happens if you just stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, lift your chin, make eye contact? All of a sudden, you're sending a completely different signal, one of presence and power. And this gets at that famous phrase, fake it till you become it. Now, this isn't about being fake or inauthentic. It's about understanding that your actions can actually lead your feelings. When you adopt confident body language, you're not just putting on a show. You are literally signaling to your own brain that it's time to feel more confident. And you know what? Eventually, your mind catches up to what your body is doing. All right, the final piece of our interior design puzzle is becoming your own biggest cheerleader. It's funny, right? We are absolute experts at remembering every little mistake we've ever made. But when it comes to acknowledging our victories, we forget them almost instantly. And look, celebrating your wins doesn't have to be some huge party. It can be as simple as taking a moment, just a quiet moment, to acknowledge your own courage after a tough conversation. Or maybe you could try something like creating a success journal or starting a win jar where you literally collect little notes about your accomplishments. What you're doing is actively training your brain to stop ignoring and start recognizing your own success. So, we've gone through the whole blueprint, right? We've talked about laying the foundation, building the framework, designing the interior, but now we get to the final and, honestly, the most important step of all, laying that very first brick. Because at the end of the day, everything we've talked about, it's just a tool. It's a plan. You are the architect. You're the one who has to actually pick up the tools and start building. The power is in your hands, and it starts right now. And listen, that first brick, it does not have to be massive. In fact, it should be almost laughably small. We're not talking about running the marathon, we're talking about just putting on your running shoes. That's it. It's not about writing the whole book, it's about reading one single chapter. It's about finding that one tiny, achievable action that gets the ball rolling. So I'm gonna leave you with this one question. The blueprint is in your hands. The tools are ready. You are the architect. So what is the first brick, the very first, smallest brick that you are going to lay today to start building a more confident you?